They didn't come. I remember staring at the empty chairs where my parents should have been. The violins played, the flowers were perfect, and yet that absence cut through me sharper than any blade. When I called, still in my dress, still shaking, their words echoed, cold and rehearsed. "Enjoy marrying your plumber. We won't be embarrassed with you." My mother's tone, icy, detached. My father, silent in the background. And then the line went dead. For a moment I couldn't breathe. Years of loyalty, of being the good daughter, meant nothing. My crime? Falling in love with a man who worked with his hands. I thought of my sister's wedding 2 years ago. White doves, crystal chandeliers, a five-star venue. My parents floated across that ballroom like royalty, drunk on admiration. They spared no expense, $60,000 to prove their daughter's worth. And me? I was the maid of honor, smiling through speeches, covering the bills they forgot to pay, making sure everything ran smoothly. I thought it was love. I thought that loyalty mattered. But when it was my turn, they erased me. At first, the pain consumed me. Nights staring at the ceiling, asking myself what I did wrong. Then came the anger. Slow, simmering, focused. I didn't explode. I calculated. If they wanted to be embarrassed by my husband, I would make them envy him instead. So I waited. I listened. I built my silence into a weapon. My husband, Daniel, wasn't just a plumber. He was sharp, ambitious, relentless. His hands might have been calloused, but his mind was precise. He had been quietly building something: contracts, partnerships, investments. And I had been listening during every late-night conversation, every whispered plan. Together, we weren't small. We were growing, powerful even. That night, after my parents' rejection, I sat across from Daniel in our small kitchen. I told him everything, every cruel word, every comparison to my sister, every dismissal. He didn't rage. He just reached across the table, squeezed my hand, and said, "Then let's make them watch." The first step was silence. I didn't confront them. I didn't chase them. I let them believe they'd cut me off. That confidence would be their downfall. The second step was visibility. Daniel signed a major city contract 6 months later. His company trucks bore our name in bold letters. We hosted fundraisers, dinners, charity events, quietly, strategically, inviting people who mattered. I made sure the photos circulated. I made sure the right people tagged me. Then came my move. On the morning after our 1-year anniversary, I sent my parents a single photo. Just one. Daniel, in a tailored suit, shaking hands with the mayor. Behind them, a banner: Partnership for City Infrastructure. The caption, just 3 words: My husband, ours. I hit send and went about my day. By evening, my phone vibrated with 40 missed calls. My mother, my father, my sister. Then the texts, panicked, pleading: "We need to talk. Why didn't you tell us? Call us immediately." Suddenly, the same man who embarrassed them was the son-in-law they wanted. Suddenly, I was useful again. But I didn't answer. Not yet. Weeks later, I saw them in person for the first time since my wedding. They cornered me at a charity gala, one they hadn't been invited to. My mother smiled, that rehearsed social grin. "Darling, you should have told us. We had no idea Daniel was so successful." I stared at her, calm, unflinching. "You didn't care to know." Her smile faltered. My father cleared his throat. "We just want to be part of your life again." I leaned in, close enough for only them to hear. My voice was steady, surgical. "You wanted me to enjoy marrying my plumber, and I have, every second. The only difference is you'll never enjoy it with me." I left them standing there, small and desperate, in a room full of people who no longer looked at them. The truth? I don't need their approval. I never did. What I wanted was for them to feel the weight of their own arrogance, to choke on the taste of doors they slammed shut, only to watch me open better ones. And now, every time they see my name in a headline, every time someone asks about their brilliant daughter and her husband, they're reminded of the moment they chose pride over love. That is my revenge. Not anger, not shouting, exile. I gave them silence, and in that silence, they heard everything they refused to see. I am not the forgotten daughter. I am the one who walked away and never looked back.